Today, we stand at a pivotal moment in history where the Virgin Mary's urgent message calls us to immediate spiritual action. The time has come for each of us to recognize the seriousness of the world's current events, which are unfolding in alignment with divine prophecy. As children of the Almighty, we must prioritize our spiritual well-being above all else, responding to the divine call with love, humility, and respect. This is not merely a warning. It is an invitation to embrace a path of spiritual readiness, one that will equip us to face the trials ahead with strength, grace, and unwavering faith. The Virgin Mary speaks to us as our spiritual mother, entrusting us with her immaculate heart. She urgently calls us to recognize the profound spiritual realities that are unfolding around us. We live in two worlds, the spiritual and the earthly, and we must elevate our spiritual lives to navigate the challenges that are fast approaching. The message could not be clearer. Without spiritual vigilance, we risk being led astray by the forces of darkness that seek to corrupt us, drawing us away from the path of divine love. These forces, manifesting as demonic influences, work tirelessly to weaken the hearts of the faithful, leading many into temptation and distraction. The strongest defense we have against these evil powers is to remain in a state of grace. The Virgin Mary urges us to be spiritually awake, to resist the allure of immorality and the distractions of the material world. In the face of impending natural disasters, such as the seismic activity expected in Central America, Mexico, Chile, Colombia, Argentina, Bolivia, and parts of Europe, we are reminded to be spiritually prepared. These disasters, along with the threat of a mysterious plague and increasing global conflicts, call for a deep and sustained commitment to prayer, reflection, and spiritual action. Sacred items such as crucifixes, holy images, and blessed candles are essential in providing spiritual defense during these turbulent times. But it is not enough to simply possess these objects. They must be used with faith and devotion. The Virgin Mary emphasizes the power of fervent prayer, particularly the Holy Rosary, which she assures is a powerful tool for protection and grace. By praying the Rosary with sincere devotion, we invite divine mercy into our lives and fortify our spirits against the challenges that lie ahead. In addition to prayer, the Virgin Mary urges us to participate actively in Mass, to cultivate a deep and abiding trust in God's presence and guidance. Our actions must reflect a pure heart, one that is focused on doing good and showing compassion to others. It is through these acts of love and kindness that we become instruments of God's peace in a world that so desperately needs it. This message is not just about individual preparedness. It is also about the strength of the community. The Virgin Mary calls us to support one another in faith, to stand together in prayer and love, especially during these difficult times. We are reminded to seek forgiveness for our shortcomings and to continually strengthen our relationship with God through prayer and repentance. Above all, the Virgin Mary urges us to remain vigilant. This is a call to action, to keep our hearts and minds open to the divine revelations unfolding around us. The suffering of this world can be overwhelming, but by focusing on the spiritual over the material, we can navigate the darkness with faith, hope, and love. Together, in prayer and unity, we will fortify our faith for the trials that are yet to come. The Virgin Mary and the Archangel Michael are our constant protectors and guides during these times of trial. We must lean on their intercession and trust in their guardianship, knowing that they will lead us through the storms of life and into the arms of God. By turning to prayer, reflection, and communal support, we can face the difficulties ahead with unwavering resilience, spiritual fortitude, and an unshakable hope in God's promises. Now is the time to heed this urgent warning. We are being called to act, to embrace spiritual readiness, and to prepare for the challenges that lie ahead. Let us do so with a humble heart, a prayerful spirit, and an unbreakable trust in God's love and protection. Through the strength of the Holy Rosary and the support of our faith community, we will emerge from these trials stronger and more deeply aligned with God's divine plan. In these uncertain and perilous times, one of the most crucial tools for spiritual survival is prayerful preparation. As the world faces mounting challenges, the Virgin Mary calls us to embrace this preparation with all seriousness, urging us to rely on prayer as a shield against the dangers that lie ahead. Among the essential resources to guide us through these trials is a powerful digital book of prayers, an instrument blessed with divine grace that can strengthen our spiritual defenses and help us seek protection from the evil forces that roam the earth. The devil and his legions are constantly at work, seeking to corrupt the faithful and lead us astray from the path of divine love. These malevolent forces are particularly active in today's world, attempting to sow confusion, division, and doubt. But the Virgin Mary reminds us that our best line of defense against these powers is to remain in a state of grace. We must be spiritually vigilant, constantly aligning ourselves with God's will, and turning away from sin, immorality, and worldly distractions. This commitment to purity and righteousness is more vital than ever. The Virgin Mary's message also warns us about the natural calamities that are poised to shake many parts of the world. Significant seismic activity is predicted in regions like Central America, Mexico, Chile, Colombia, Argentina, Bolivia, and certain parts of Europe. These areas are expected to experience devastating earthquakes and other natural disasters that will disrupt lives and communities. Alongside these calamities, we are also cautioned about the outbreak of an enigmatic plague and the rising tensions that may lead to conflict and war. The prophesied events underline the urgent need for both spiritual and material preparation as we face these uncertain times. In response to these challenges, the Virgin Mary encourages us to turn to sacred objects for protection. Crucifixes, holy images, and blessed candles are vital tools in safeguarding our homes and hearts. But above all, the most powerful spiritual weapon we have is the Rosary. The Virgin Mary stresses the importance of daily recitation, for through this devotion, we invite divine grace and protection into our lives. The act of praying the Rosary strengthens our spiritual armor, filling us with peace and resilience. It is through prayer, especially this powerful form of devotion, that we will find the strength to endure the trials that are approaching. Additionally, the Virgin Mary calls us to be active participants in the Mass, to maintain unwavering faith in God's presence, and to continue doing good deeds in His name. Compassion and charity should mark our lives, and by living with pure hearts, we align ourselves with God's plan and protection. In this way, we ensure that our souls are prepared to face whatever comes, and we invite God's direction and mercy into every aspect of our lives. The message closes with a strong demand for vigilance. We are urged to deepen our relationship with God, to seek forgiveness for our sins, and to spend time in prayerful introspection. This is a moment for spiritual renewal, where we must focus our hearts and minds on God and trust in His grace to see us through these difficult times. By standing together in faith and prayer, leaning on one another for support, and trusting in the intercession of the Virgin Mary and Archangel Michael, we can navigate the challenges ahead with strength and unity. The core of this message is simple yet profound. We must embrace our spiritual vocation with humility and respect, understanding that we are cherished children of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. To endure the suffering and challenges of earthly existence, we must keep our hearts focused on both the spiritual and the earthly realms. In the face of natural disasters, political unrest, and spiritual battles, we can remain steadfast if we keep our faith strong and our prayers constant. Now is the time to commit ourselves to prayerful preparation. The digital book of powerful prayers is a key tool in this journey, offering us the prayers and guidance needed to strengthen our spiritual defenses. Let us heed the Virgin Mary's call to prayer, to preparation, and to spiritual vigilance. Through this commitment, we will fortify our faith, protect ourselves from the evil that surrounds us, and remain firmly grounded in divine love and grace as we face the challenges of the future. As we face unprecedented challenges in times of uncertainty, we are reminded of the importance of spiritual defense and the power of divine guidance. The Virgin Mary's messages, filled with wisdom and compassion, urge us to prepare for the difficult days ahead. With warnings of looming plagues and battles, both spiritual and physical, it's more vital than ever to turn to our sacred tools of faith: crucifixes, holy images, and blessed candles. These sacred items act as spiritual armor, protecting us from the forces of darkness that seek to destabilize our peace and trust in God. One of the most powerful actions we can take in these times is to fervently recite the Rosary. Through its prayer, blessings are bestowed upon us, filling our hearts with grace, strength, and the peace that only God can provide. It is not just a ritual, but a lifeline that connects us to the sacred, enabling us to withstand the spiritual warfare around us. Attending Mass with devotion is equally essential, as it allows us to receive God's presence and guidance in a deeply intimate way. By actively participating in the Eucharist, we draw closer to the Lord, strengthening our resolve and deepening our commitment to Him. Alongside this, we are called to live out our faith by performing acts of kindness, charity, and love, purifying our hearts and souls in service to others. In these trying times, we are reminded to remain vigilant, constantly asking for forgiveness and striving to strengthen our relationship with God. Each moment is an opportunity to reflect, to pray, and to nurture our connection with the divine. Let this be a time not of fear, but of growth, a time to encourage one another in faith and offer support as we face the obstacles that lie ahead. With the protection of the Archangel Michael and the guidance of the Virgin Mary, we are assured that we are not alone. Through prayer and steadfast devotion, we are united as one spiritual family, bound together in hope and love. We must place our trust in God's grace and protection, preparing ourselves spiritually for whatever trials may come. As we navigate these tumultuous times, let us focus on the divine messages that the Virgin Mary has entrusted to us. Embrace both the spiritual and material worlds with humility, respect, and a desire to grow closer to God. By putting our spiritual well-being first, we can face the hardships of this world with courage and strength, knowing that we are held in God's loving care. Let us continue to pray for protection, guidance, and salvation, and remain in a state of grace, free from the distractions and temptations of the world. We must stay united in prayer and faith, keeping our hearts pure and our eyes focused on the light of Christ. Even in the darkest moments, His light will shine through, offering us hope, strength, and confidence as we move forward. As we prepare for the future, we do so with unwavering faith, united in love and hope. Together, with God's help and the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary, we will face whatever challenges. Arise with a steadfast heart, trusting that His grace will lead us through. Thank you for joining me on this spiritual journey. Your participation and presence make this exploration even more meaningful. May the stories of our shared faith uplift and inspire you, and may you continue to walk in peace, knowing that you are never alone on this path. Until next time, let us remain united in prayer and in the love of Christ.